Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, why does intelligence sometimes feel like a curse? Why is it that the brightest minds often end up isolated, while those with average intellects seem to thrive socially? Arthur Schopenhauer, one of history's most candid philosophers, understood this puzzle, and it's more relevant today than ever before. He discovered that intelligence doesn't just elevate someone, it also creates a kind of mirror, a mirror that reflects the limitations of others. And here's the thing, people don't forgive you for showing them what they're not ready to face. Most people assume that the reason brilliant minds live lonely lives is simply because they're awkward or standoffish. But Schopenhauer saw deeper. He identified a pattern, an invisible force that plays out in every society, in every age. He realized that intelligence itself becomes a silent, unspoken judgment in a room. And that judgment, people can't handle it. You see, when a truly intelligent person walks into a room, they don't even need to say a word. Their presence alone becomes a reflection, a subtle reminder of everyone else's limits. And let me tell you, no one likes staring into that mirror, not when it shows them their own inadequacies, their own weaknesses, their own ego bruises. Look at society. We cheer on wealth, beauty, physical strength, even fame. But true intellectual superiority, that stirs something different, something dark. It breeds resentment. And yet, we still need intelligence. Society depends on it, even if it actively resists it. Schopenhauer wasn't just a philosopher throwing theories around in some ivory tower. He lived through the very dynamics he described. As a young man, he observed how people reacted to intelligence, not just in classrooms, but in every corner of society. The results weren't pretty, but they were consistent. Even today, science affirms what Schopenhauer saw all those years ago. Studies in social psychology show us that when people feel intellectually inferior, it's not just an ego bruise. It hurts on a neurological level. Brain scans reveal that encountering someone smarter than you activates the same areas of the brain responsible for physical pain. And when you're in a group setting, that reaction intensifies. It's like an alarm going off in your brain. But the question is, why? Why does intelligence trigger such a primal, uncomfortable response? Schopenhauer offered a piercing insight into this. When someone smarter enters a conversation, others, almost unconsciously, measure themselves against that person. And what do they find? Their own limitations. The smart person hasn't even said a word. But now, everyone feels smaller. It's like putting a professional athlete in a pickup game. The moment they step in, everyone feels it. Their limitations become glaringly obvious. And instead of acknowledging this feeling, most people respond by assuming the intelligent person looks down on them, even when they haven't uttered a single judgment. But why does this happen? Why do we tolerate other forms of superiority, wealth, beauty, strength, but feel so threatened by intelligence? Schopenhauer observes something even deeper. For men, the rejection is often subtle exclusion or direct confrontation. But for women, it's a double bind. Not only are they rejected for their intellect, but they also have to contend with society's rigid expectations about how they should behave, think, and express themselves. Intelligence in women, Schopenhauer argued, challenges not just social norms but personal identities, and that's a lot for society to swallow. And yet, despite all the discomfort, society continues to need intelligence. We need progress. We need critical thinkers. And here's the paradox. Society celebrates the great intellectuals after they're gone, but during their lifetimes, they're often isolated, misunderstood, or even vilified. Think about it. Newton was isolated. Einstein was ridiculed. Marie Curie was rejected by the scientific community. And yet their contributions to society were undeniable. But the question remains, how do you navigate this paradox? How do you thrive in a world that both needs and resists your intelligence? It starts with understanding. Schopenhauer wasn't trying to tell us that we're doomed to isolation. No, his wisdom was about awareness. Once you understand that the discomfort people feel around your intelligence isn't personal, it's just the way their minds react, you can approach it with a sense of freedom. You don't have to carry the weight of their reactions as if they're your responsibility. Then you learn the art of subtlety. There's a time and place for deep thoughts. You don't have to dumb yourself down, but you can choose your moments. Not every situation needs to be an intellectual debate. There's wisdom in knowing when to speak and when to listen. And finally, find your tribe. You don't need the whole world to understand you. You just need a handful of people who can meet you where you are. As history has shown, some of the greatest minds found community in unexpected places, whether it was in small circles, like Richard Feynman's informal discussions, or in intellectual safe spaces, like Ada Lovelace's social laboratories. Those who embraced their intelligence were able to thrive by connecting with others who saw the world the same way. So, next time you feel that social pushback against your intelligence, remember this: you're not doing anything wrong. You're simply reflecting a truth that others aren't ready to face, and how they react to it isn't on you. The key to navigating this world is not hiding who you are. It's understanding the dynamics and learning how to work with them. You can be intelligent and still have fulfilling social relationships. You can be smart and still find your place in the world. So, embrace your intelligence, but carry it with wisdom. Let it be your strength, but know when to wield it. Because in the end, true intelligence isn't about showing off how much you know. It's about understanding how and when to help others see what they can't yet understand. If this video resonated with you, I want to hear your thoughts. Have you ever felt isolated because of your intelligence? How have you navigated those challenges? Share your experiences below, and if you want more insights on how to live a powerful, wise life, hit that subscribe button. We're just getting started. Think about whether this channel is worthy of getting your love and support. If it is, don't hesitate. We will meet in the next video. Until then, keep evolving.